Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. Watch my video and subscribe my channel. Liam signs on for an experimental surgery that could save his life, or end it. At the hospital, Bill sits in Liam's room while Grace examines his kid. Liam cracks a joke and remarks on Bill not leaving the chair in days. Bill had to battle the whole family to get in there, and isn't leaving. Grace tells Liam how much he has to live for, and steps aside. Bill perches on Liam's bed and tells him he could have lost him, and it would have been his fault. Liam says Luna's gone now. We're good. Bill's proud of him for saving Steffi. Grace stares them as Bill asks why he didn't inform him about the brain tumor. You know I'll do everything in my power to help you. Bill doesn't blame Liam for keeping him in the dark. Liam wasn't trying to punish him. He just didn't want to spend their last minutes together lamenting. Bill will do whatever he possibly can to get him through this. The camera pans to Grace eavesdropping. Liam tells his dad he wants to fight this, and Grace begs Bill to speak alone. They step out. Bill, Liam, B&B. Grace tells Bill what he wants to hear. In another room, Grace tells Bill she couldn't resist overhearing. Now Liam wants to fight. Bill asks if it would be in vain. Is there any true hope for his son? Grace says, what if I told you there is? Bill points that she informed his son the brain tumor was inoperable. Grace says if he's ready to fight, she might be able to help him. She's been exploring an experimental medicine that's in its early testing stages, but the findings have been promising. It's not anything this hospital could sign off on or even know about. But that might be the only shot they get. Bill will sign the waivers. Grace cautions it's incredibly pricey. Bill will hand her a blank check. I just have to save my son. Grace is delighted he's on board. Now they have to convince Liam. Grace reiterates that what she's suggesting is hazardous. She understands Bill wants to make things right. He'll have to assist her convince Liam, who won't survive this brain tumor otherwise. Bill says he'll get through to him. Grace, Bill, B&B. Eric pops the question. At Forrester, Brooke, Eric and Ridge go over Luna no longer being a threat. Ridge grunts that Liam saved the day. They regret him having brain cancer. Eric asks Brooke if she'll accompany him and Ridge on their upcoming business trip to Naples. They discuss about the Amalfi Coast and Ridge says it's a shame Steffi can't go. Eric asks Brooke again whether she'll come. Brooke looks forward to building more great experiences in Italy. Brooke, Eric, B&B. Once alone with Ridge, Eric advises him to take some time with Brooke to see the attractions in Naples. Ridge reminds him it's not a vacation, it's a business trip. Eric chortles about Italy being magical for him and Brooke. Ridge advises they should let Brooke enjoy her vacation without stress, especially with Nick Marone lurking around. More, Ashley Jones says goodbye. In the design office, Nick informs Brooke he heard about the incident. How are you holding up? Brooke says everyone's relieved that Steffi wasn't wounded and Liam's going to pull through. Nick's sure Ridge wants to arrange a parade for him. Brooke says things will have to wait till they get back from Naples. Nick shakes his head as she says she's going with Eric and Ridge. What are you doing? He says. Brooke, Nick, B&B. More talk about the trip. At the Forrester mansion, Donna and Taylor discuss the business trip to Naples. Donna talks about holding down the fort there, and Taylor says Ridge is excited. She then asks the blonde, what about your sister? Do you think she'll go? Donna, Taylor, B&B. Donna understands that Eric would love for Brooke to go to Naples with him and Ridge. Taylor asks if she agrees with it, with everything going on. Donna thinks it's a terrific idea, but she honestly wants to know how Taylor feels about this. Taylor trusts Ridge. Besides, she heard Nick Marone's back in town. Donna, B&B Barbie. Back at Forrester. Taylor comes in the main office at Forrester as Eric tries to convince Ridge his thoughts regarding Nick Marone are jealousy. She feels like she's interrupting something. Eric says he was merely giving his son a piece of his mind. Ridge moans that he respects his father's opinions, but doesn't always share them. Eric leaves and Taylor asks Ridge to pick a date for their wedding. They kiss. More. Heart-stopping disaster in Naples alters everything. In the design office, Nick won't allow Brooke go down this route with Forrester again. He has business in Italy and wants her to fly to Naples with him. Brooke warns she'll be incredibly busy with meetings every day. Nick will have meetings too, but he'll find time for her. Caressing her arm, he says it's the way she deserves to be treated, especially by a man who really wants to be with her. Kissing her hand, he purrs, "Come to Italy with me." Brooke, Nick, B&B. Liam's big chance. In Liam's hospital room, Bill tells his son about Grace's proposal. He thinks he should carefully consider it, especially after claiming he's eager to fight. But time is not on their side. He'll have to make a decision. Liam wonders at there being a chance. Bill responds, "If you're willing to take it." Grace appears and Liam wonders whether this is real. "There's a chance I could actually live now." Bill, Liam, B&B. Grace tells Liam there's an experimental operation. She told his father about it. Bill cautions he'd have to do it now. Grace believes the gunshot wound increases the risk, but they'd have to continue forward. She's booked her colleague a ticket to LA, and the procedure might be performed tomorrow. It can't be done in the hospital, however. They can't even talk about it. More. B&B's biggest twist is still to come. Bill tells his son not to pass up this chance. Liam tears up. He won't say no. "Yes, I want to live. So let's do it." Grace hands out the documents for him to sign. She's located a clinic that's available tomorrow and trusts in her colleague. Bill thinks Beth and Kelly can't lose their father. He tells his kid, "There is nobody braver than you are. Let's do this." Liam clasps his dad's hand and signs the paperwork with the other. Grace grins. Liam says, "Tomorrow." Bill nods. "Tomorrow. The first day of the rest of your life." So her motives are not merely about patient care. This may be about getting whoever keeps texting and calling her off her back. And in this week's ad, Finn chats to Bridget Forrester about something not being usual policy. They find it unusual. It could be about Grace having dangerous surgery and perhaps transferring Liam away from the hospital. Or it could be about Luna and the disposal of her body because I'm still not certainly Finnegan, being honest, and that Luna is genuinely dead. When Lee talked to Finn this week about Luna, I get the impression that Lee was testing the waters to see whether she could inform Finn that Luna had survived. So we'll see. We know Grace has done questionable things in the past on Bold and the Beautiful. Bold and the Beautiful. Grace gets it done? And, she's gone back crap crazy, like when she was going nuts about Carter Walton dating Paris. Now she's back for Liam's life and death storyline. And, again, I don't believe it's probable he's going to die. And maybe because of Grace and this experimental regimen that Bill Spencer is going to start supporting. That's what saves his life. We know from leaked screenplays that Liam has sequences in September, a full 2 months from now. So maybe he'll be off canvas for a long, having covert, nasty cancer treatments. Hope and Steffi are not going to be delighted if Bill takes Liam right out from under them. But Bill's determined to save Liam after getting Luna the pardon and her shooting Liam. So I expect Bill to go to extremes, and clearly Steffi and Hope are going to panic out when Bill runs off with them. So maybe Grace puts Liam into a medically induced coma so that Bill can take control and they can transport him away without his consent, without the ladies knowing. We'll see if Liam's next of kin is Dollar Bill. Private clinic awaits Liam. Bill buys experimental treatment. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers update for Tuesday, July 15th, indicates that a private facility will await Liam Spencer after Bill Spencer buys an experimental treatment to save his son. Thanks to what Hope Logan blurted out at the hospital, Bill knows about Liam's inoperable brain tumor. Of course, Bill refuses to recognize this is the end of the road, so he'll be desperate when he looks to Grace Buckingham for aid on Tuesday's B&B episode. Bill will be looking for any conceivable method to score some hope for Liam's future. That's when Grace will reveal there could be a method to keep Liam alive, but it'll cost a lot of money to make it happen. Luckily, dollar bill indeed has lots of money to use in instances like this. Once Bill gets on board with the experimental treatment that Grace proposes, he'll pay $1 million and may promise there's more where that came from if necessary. Grace will rush Liam into surgery, so that'll be step one of this therapy program. However, a private clinic and a different doctor's regimen will await Liam later during the week of July 14th to 18th. As for Grace, it's obvious to see she's not doing all this out of the kindness of her heart. Grace cares about Liam as her patient, but there's more on the line for her than just saving him. It sounds like Grace may have some obligations relating to her former spouse, Dr. Reese Buckingham, so it's possible she's being threatened to cooperate with all this. Whatever the case, Liam is facing a terminal prognosis anyhow, so he might as well go through with this experimental procedure and get his best shot at survival. Since Liam wants to stick around to witness Kelly Spencer and Beth Spencer grow up, this may be his only opportunity to make that happen. Over with Bridget Forrester and John Finnegan, they'll be thrown when Grace goes against hospital rules and starts making some dubious moves. Finn and Bridget won't get updates on the complete scenario, so they'll discuss the matter and try to make sense of Grace's behavior. The bold and the beautiful spoilers claim Liam could have wonderful news going his way if this treatment works, so stay tuned. B&B spoilers Hope wants Liam back. Will Lope get another chance? The bold and the beautiful spoilers indicate that Hope Logan wants Liam Spencer back. After seeing him fight for his life, Hope realizes she still loves him and wants to put her family back together. Liam's situation is critical. Hope and Steffi Forrester remain at his bedside, begging for a miracle. Lee Finnegan and Bridget Forrester anticipate Liam will make a full recovery, but it will be a hard journey. Steffi is grateful to Liam. He sacrificed his life to rescue her life. The bold and the beautiful spoilers indicate that Liam thought he was a dead man walking, giving him the courage to fight Luna Nozawa for the gun. Hope wants Liam back. The bold and the beautiful spoilers indicate that Hope will realize that she wants to put her family together. She wants to make whatever time he has left unforgettable. Hope feels convinced that Liam would leap at the chance to be back together. However, Liam could reject her. It's not likely, but it may happen. The difficulty with Hope's attempt to reunite with Liam is Carter Walton. Carter is looking forward to marrying Hope and being a stepfather to her daughter. He even brought up having another kid with Hope. If Hope informs Carter that she wants to give her relationship with Liam, he will be saddened. He feels Hope wants a life with him. It would be a shock to hear that she wished to rejoin with her ex-husband. Hope must feel conflicted. She loves Carter and envisions a real future with him, but Liam is precious to her. They share a child and have loved one another for many years. Will Hope and Liam reunite? The big topic on B&B fans' minds is Lope getting back together. It appears like that is where this tale is going. However, it could be a fake out. Liam may not want to reunite with Hope. He could still want Steffi, but it isn't likely either. Steffi's marriage to John Finnegan is strong, at least right now. That could alter in the aftermath of Luna's death. The bold and the beautiful spoilers predict Hope will offer an impassioned plea to Liam, imploring him for another opportunity. Bill's specialist uncovers Liam's fake diagnosis, exposes Grace Con. The bold and the beautiful rumors indicate that Bill Spencer will take charge and appoint specialists to take over Liam Spencer's care. He doesn't trust Lee Finnegan and Bridget Forrester to find a treatment for his son's inoperable brain tumor. Liam's condition is really bad right now. Not only is he battling a brain tumor, but he took a bullet to the chest to protect Steffi Forrester. His doctors hope that he will make a full recovery, but his condition is far from stable. B&B spoilers indicate that Bill will opt to fire his doctors and bring in world-renowned specialists to take over Liam's care. When the specialists take control, it won't take long for them to discover out Liam's brain tumor is nothing but a fraud. Bill's specialist discovers Liam's fake diagnosis. The bold and the beautiful spoilers indicate that Bill's specialists will do their own tests on Liam. They appreciate the work his physicians put into his care, but they want additional scans to evaluate if his health has changed. They are especially interested in observing if his brain tumor has expanded. The physicians will likely be confused when they don't see a lump in his brain. They cannot comprehend why his headaches and symptoms are worsening when they don't see any evidence of a brain tumor. After they undertake a series of tests, they conclude that Grace Buckingham misdiagnosed Liam. They further discover that the drug Grace prescribed could be the main cause of his dizzy episodes, exhaustion, and pounding headaches. Bill exposes Grace Buckingham's con. The bold and the beautiful spoilers indicate that Bill cannot control his wrath when he learns about Grace's incompetence. She trusted her discernment before, but to inform Liam's he is dying when he wasn't, crosses the line. Bill becomes concerned with finding out if Grace purposefully made his son sick or if she merely misdiagnosed him. He might have his team dig into Grace to find whether she has a cause for her action. B&B spoilers indicate that Bill's investigator discovers that Grace's acts are related to her ex-husband, Reese Buckingham. Somehow, that deceitful man is forcing Grace to make his son sick with the deadly pharmaceutical cocktail. It started with a desperate father and a dying son. Liam Spencer had been proclaimed terminal. His inoperable brain tumor coiled brutally around a part of his intellect that once made him strong, brave, and caring. He had already survived a bullet from Luna Nozawa in a horrible act of violence that had horrified the Forrester and Spencer families. But now he confronted something even more scary than gunshots, silence from his own head. While his loved ones stood by, clinging to slivers of hope, one man refused to surrender, Bill Spencer. Billionaire, giant, parent, and now a desperate man on the verge of reason. Bill refused to bury another family member, not after the loss of Caroline and all the failures he'd faced as a father. So when Dr. Grace Buckingham leaned forward, eyes flashing with anxious hope, and whispered, "There may be another way, but it'll cost you," Bill didn't flinch. $1 million was a drop in the ocean of his enterprise, but it might spell life for Liam, or it could suggest he was being conned. Grace had luggage, heavy, distrustful, and full of secrets. Her ex-husband Reese Buckingham was a disgraced doctor, a scoundrel who stole babies and wrecked lives. Her daughters Paris and Zoe seldom spoke to each other anymore. Rumors swirled that Grace owed money, not just credit cards or hospital board dues, but deadly money, the kind of money that made people disappear. Still, Bill paid. The instant the money flowed into Grace's secret account, the agreement was struck. She called in a consult with an anonymous doctor from Zurich, a man alleged to have employed gene therapy in prohibited ways, a ghost in the worldwide medical system. The plan? To surgically alleviate pressure on Liam's tumor, inject precise nanocompounds, and attempt a neurological reset. A Frankenstein blend of wild science and reckless hope. Grace swore it had worked in 2 other cases, neither of which could be substantiated, but Bill didn't ask for proof. He wanted a miracle, not a paper trail. And so Liam, still delicate and groggy from weeks in a coma, was drugged further. Consent was fuzzy. He was barely coherent, wandering between agony and memory. Steffi and Hope had no clue. Finn got skeptical, especially when Bridget Forrester received wind that Liam was being packed for transport without the hospital board's knowledge. "This isn't protocol," Bridget whispered to Finn, who was already incensed that Bill had muscled into Liam's care decisions. But it was too late. Liam was seized. Under cover of darkness, Liam's bed was carried out of the ICU, his medical records tagged restricted, and a private jet waited at an unknown airstrip in Santa Monica. Grace greeted them at the clinic, a frigid, sterile institution located in the hills outside Topanga Canyon, registered to a shell corporation. Inside, a surgical team that didn't speak much English readied the oar. Bill stood outside, watching his son's life hang between brilliance and betrayal. The surgery began. Grace chopped into Liam's skull while the mystery doctor guided her every movement. For nearly 10 hours, Liam's brain was poked, shocked, cooled, and dosed with a fluid so experimental that it hadn't passed a single U.S. study. And still Bill believed. Back at the hospital, Steffi and Hope returned to visit Liam and discovered his room empty. "Where is he?" Hope screamed, her eyes filling with horror. Finn, white-knuckled and angry, watched security footage. When he witnessed Bill personally loading Liam into a private ambulance, he almost punched a wall. "He kidnapped him," Steffi whispered. "Bill took him." Taylor and Ridge arrived within the hour. Ridge ordering LAPD be contacted. "He's insane. He has no legal right." But there were no warrants, no evidence, just the word of doctors who'd previously been undercut. Meanwhile, Grace operated with chilly precision. Sweat ran down her back as she labored, her hands quivering from strain and dread. In her thoughts, the debt collectors circled like vultures. Reese's words rang in her ear from an earlier call. "You better make this work, Grace. If the youngster dies, we both do." Was she doing this for Liam? For herself? For Reese? Or only to survive? She didn't know anymore. When Liam flatlined for 6 seconds mid-procedure, Grace froze. The second doctor yelled in Swiss-accented English, "Now, Buckingham! Again, charge the node!" She obeyed. The monitors jumped. A pulse returned. And finally the surgery concluded. But did it work? Bill gazed through the glass, his face haggard. "Tell me, is my son alive?" Grace couldn't answer. "He's stable for now." It wasn't good enough. Bill exploded, grabbing Grace by the shoulders. "I gave you $1 million. You said you could repair him." She broke. "I said I could try," she screamed. "This is medicine, not magic."